Hello and welcome to the show. I hope the whole family is well. This story begins from the year 2011. In 2011, a 22-year-old girl living in Italy, whose name is Sibora, reaches Spain. After coming to Spain, she is spending her holidays in a city in Spain called Costa del Sol, where also she used lime. During her stay, she meets a young Spanish man. His name was Marco Romeo. They become friends in a few days. They travel together and love to spend time with each other. Romeo and Sibora travels in Spain, but after some time they get bored and move to another city from Costa del Sol. The new city was Torremolinos, where these two started living in an apartment. They lived together for 3 years in Torremolinos, from 2011 to 2014. Everything was fine. Life was going well. But then suddenly, on July 7, 2014, Sibora disappeared. Sibora had no longer contact with her parents in Italy. Otherwise, she would keep on informing them about her health through phone calls and other social media handles. And suddenly she's missing, many times. Her neighbor friends asked his boyfriend Marco Romeo about her, but every time he used to tell them that Sibora had broken up with him, and that is why she is left with all her belongings. Now, living in a living room, breaking up all these were normal things. So people said that it was possible. They lived for 3 years, and now they broke up. Worrying parents and relatives come to Spain from Italy and meet the Romans in search of Sibora. Her family is also trying to contact her daughter, but they've got no response. Sibora's parents asked Romeo where he repeat his sentences that they had broken up already. And now she was going back to her country. But parents had some doubt on him because there is no news. Now the family of Sibora goes to the police station and writes a report about her missing. Now, 7th July 2014, now the Spanish police are also investigating to finding Sibora, where she used to live, in the apartment of Torremolinos. The police also went there for an investigation. They got some small items as an evidence of Sibora. Now the police, in search of evidences, explore in different cities, along with Sibora's common friends. But they find nothing. Time passes slowly. After 17, another girl comes into Romeo's life. Her name was Paula. Now slowly, with Paula, Romeo starts falling in love. After marriage, Paula births a child. Their life is going very smoothly. Time is passing. And along with that, the story of Sibora is now left live in memory. So they came back from Italy. They tried their best, but they couldn't find it. A photo of Sibora has pasted on the wall of missing persons in police station. It happens everywhere, even in country. The police's investigation was now over. As time passed, the police also started forgetting Sibora. Even Romeo had forgotten about Sibora and had already started a new life. Let's come on. May 28, there was an incident happened. A very loud scream was heard from a house, where some neighbors called the police. After the arrival of police team, they found that the house belongs to Romeo, and what they see inside was unexpected. Romeo holds a knife in his hand, and on the other hand, his wife Paula is bleeding badly. There were marks of wound all over on her body. It looks like a pool of blood. The police first take Paula to the hospital. But after a while, the news of Paula's death comes. Apart from this, Romeo had already run away when the police arrived. But since there were many people who saw him running with a dagger in his hand, it was clear that Marco Romeo killed his wife Paula and ran away. But he couldn't run for long. The police now in search of him everywhere and finally caught Romeo. Now Romeo was arrested and Paula was dead. That he was having an argument with his wife, and there was a fight going on. And that day, he got hurt a lot. He picked up the knife in anger, and then he was unconscious. He accidentally stabbed her wife with the knife, and she died. Now, the Spanish police take Romeo to the police station. The rest of the legal proceedings, including criminal and the signatures proceedings, have started. Now he is in the custody, where Romeo was sitting on the chair in front of the police officer, and on the other side The officer at the table kept asking and writing everything down. And during this conversation, suddenly the eyes of the Romeo hit the wall in the police station, and the picture of the missing people was shown. He answers and looks at the picture on the wall. Suddenly, the officer questioned him about something else, and he answers. He turns towards the picture and points. He says, "You are arresting me for this second murder." The police officer says, "Second murder? Where's the first one?" He says, "The first murder is on the wall of your police station." Then he put his finger on a picture and said, "This girl's name Sibora." The entire police force shocked, as they've not been able to find Sibora in 9 years. Her disappearance was already reported in writing. "But where is she? Did you get a clue?" The police officer stood up and asked Romeo. Officer immediately ordered a file on Sibora's disappearance. He saw that he was telling the truth. It's been 9 years since he went missing as an accused. He disappeared on July 7th, 2014. Until today, we have not found any information about the woman. Now, a person who has been caught in the process of murder and brought here opened his mouth and said, "This is my second murder. The first murder was of a girl who was hanging in the picture named Sibora. She was my girlfriend, and we lived together for 3 years. But after that, we didn't get much. We used to fight a lot, and day by day the misunderstanding between us was increases. For that, I'm furious. And one day, during the fight, I strangled her, by which Sibora died. But it's not easy to hide Sibora's dead body." "Where did you hide the dead body?" Officer asked. "If you keep it in the house, it will stink, and the neighbors will know." He said, after attempting the murder, "The dead body was lying in the house for a day, where I was thinking about the place to hide the body, which was very difficult to take it out of the house, because the people in the apartment would have seen the body being taken out, and I would have been taken out, and I would have been caught." He again said that. "I was started thinking of many ways. Then I found a way where I bought an acid from the market, and gradually I put the acid in a big vessel at home. Then I cut the body parts into small pieces of the dead body and drowned it in big vessel to completely burn it. This led to two things. Firstly, the body's shape and size became smaller. Secondly, it doesn't smell. Then he brings some polythene bags and put the body parts in it, then in a box to hide safely. When all this happened, he said that in the apartment I used to live in, there was a special place in the drawing room. There were 2 walls in one place and a gap between them. There are many such houses that having a gap between the walls attached a room itself. And I thought that if I put this box in it, it would fit in the middle of the wall. So he put the box in the middle of the gap between the walls. And then he brought all the things and materials along with it for bricking up her dead body. Then he covered the gap with cement and painted it. This was the reason nobody knew about this secret. After this, he stayed in the same apartment for a long time. Then he was satisfied. He felt that he should leave. In 2022, he vacated the apartment and started living in another area. He said that the body still exists in the same place. After this long and vital conversation, the police contacted Sibora's family. They said that he was the same person who used to live with Sibora. Also, the police team reached the apartment, but after going there, a new issue came up. That is, a new tenant had arrived in that apartment. Now, how did the police told them that the room where you are staying has a dead body locked inside the wall? But they have to solve the case. So, the police went to the tenant and explained about this serious case. They told that they had gotten this information. They didn't know if it was true or false, but to check the body they had to break the wall. The tenant understood the situation and gave the permission to the police. Then, in the presence of the tenant, Romeo, the police, and the rest of the people, now the wall is broken. After some time, a box was found in the middle of the wall. The box was taken out. There were human body pieces in the box. This means that Romeo was telling the truth. What Romeo had said was true. The bag was inside the box, and there were human body parts inside it. But was this body Sibora's or someone else's? This has not been confirmed yet. Now it had to be confirmed in the same way. That is DNA. The police immediately sent the pieces of the body to the lab for DNA testing. The family of Sibora had reached Spain from Italy. Their sample was taken. After taking the sample, A report came which gives goosebumps to everybody, and the report matched. It was cleared that it was Sibora's body. He killed Sibora 9 years ago and bricking up her inside the wall. Now, Marco Romeo was arrested for one murder, and there are chances of double murder also. The matter is still fresh. He is in jail. What punishment will he get in the future? This will be decided according to the laws of Spain.